Democrat Doug Jones pulled out a victory over Republican Roy Moore on Tuesday night, after a race that was turned on its head by allegations of child abuse against Moore. Moore was the second Alabama Republican endorsed by President Trump to lose, after Moore defeated Trumpbacked Luther Strange in the primary. Trump congratulated Jones on a hard-fought victory. President Trump has now twice endorsed the losing candidate in Alabama. He backed Luther Strange in the Republican primary, and threw his weight behind Roy Moore for the general election. Moore was defeated by Democrat Doug Jones tonight. The big picture: Trump won Alabama by almost 20 points in the 2016 election, but Alabama voters rejected his favored candidates in the Senate race. The same thing happened on November 8 in Virginia, when voters elected Democrat Ralph Northam over Trump-backed Republican Ed Gillespie by a 9-point margin. Two FBI agents who were assigned to investigate alleged collusion between the Trump campaign and the Kremlin exchanged text messages in which they referred to President Trump as an idiot, Politico reports, citing copies of the messages provided to Congress by the Justice Department. The backdrop: special counsel Robert Mueller fired one of the agents, Peter Strzok, from the investigation in late July, immediately after he learned of the text exchange. The Justice Department told Congress. Lisa Page, the other agent in question, had already left Mueller's team by that point. The corporate tax rate currently stands at 21%, according to three sources familiar, as lawmakers work to finalize the tax bill they hope to vote on by next week. Why it matters: both the House and Senate passed bills that would cut the top corporate rate to 20%, but hours after the Senate bill passed, President Trump said he would accept a 22% rate. Sen. Marco Rubio tweeted on Tuesday, likely referring to reports that the individual rate is being lowered to 37%, 20.94% corp rate to pay for tax cut for working family making $40,000 was anti-growth, but 21% to cut tax for couples making $1 million is fine. Rubio had wanted to raise the corporate tax to pay for a more generous child tax credit, but was shut down. Why it matters: it's the 20th major retailer to have filed for bankruptcy protection in 2017. Charming Charlie burst onto the retail scene in 2004, with stores uniquely organized by color, and offering products at prices between high-end jewelry stores and discount shops like Claire's, which is aimed at the teenage market. Why it matters: Tillerson said demanding North Korea denuclearize is unworkable, and that Trump agrees it isn't plausible. Tillerson did demand, however, that North Korea ensure a period of quiet during talks, per CNN. The White House released a statement in regards to Sec. Tillerson's comments, saying the president's views on North Korea have not changed. North Korea is acting in an unsafe way not only toward Japan, China, and South Korea, but the entire world. North Korea's actions are not good for anyone, and certainly not good for North Korea. The Moore campaign has revoked press credentials from reporters for The Washington Post and asked them to leave an election party tonight in Alabama. The campaign also reportedly notified the Post on Monday that its reporters' credentials were denied. It was the Post that broke the story of the first UAL misconduct allegations against Moore. Ty Cobb, President Trump's White House lawyer, says all the White House interviews are over, in special counsel Robert Mueller's Russia probe, NBC reports. The big picture: Trump's team has repeatedly tried to take the president out of the spotlight of Mueller's investigation and stated that the probe will wrap up this year. The backdrop: Jay Sekulow, one of Trump's private lawyers, told Axios' Mike Allen that he believes a second special counsel is needed to investigate potential conflicts of interest in the FBI and Department of Justice. What we're hearing: the European diplomats, who asked for anonymity due to the sensitivity of the matter, said Macron told Netanyahu he spoke several times with Trump in the last week. Macron added that Trump told him that in a few months, he will present a peace plan that will be different from all previous Middle East peace initiatives. The diplomats said Netanyahu told Macron he is still waiting to see what Trump is going to come up with, and added he doesn't know what Trump will put on the table. Netanyahu told Macron he thinks Trump's plan will be a challenge for both him and Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas, but added he will be willing to take risks. Netanyahu's office confirmed most of the description provided by the European diplomats, but denied that Netanyahu spoke about possible concessions. Israeli officials said Netanyahu only told Macron he thinks the Trump plan will challenge both him and Abbas. There might be a European interest to give a different description of the conversation, the official said. The other side: according to the diplomats, Macron was skeptical that it will be possible to promote a peace initiative in the current political atmosphere after Trump's announcement that the U.S. will recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel. Macron's message to Netanyahu: we will have to wait a few months for everybody to cool down. A day later, Netanyahu met in Brussels with the EU foreign policy chief, Federica Mogherini, and with the foreign ministers from EU member states. According to European diplomats, Netanyahu told Mogherini and the EU foreign ministers that Trump is preparing a serious peace plan and they should take him seriously. The bottom line: Netanyahu said there's a lot of turmoil now because of the Jerusalem announcement, but once it calms down, the U.S. peace plan will come up again.